Hello everyone, Akar's here. Today we'll continue working on my small side project called Zaris. If you haven't seen the previous Devlog episodes about it, then go and check them out. Anyway, let's get started. Under the previous video, I saw some really cool suggestions. Didn't have time to do something about all of them, but this exclamation point thing caught my interest. Besides, my enemy vision implementation wasn't good enough, so I decided to improve it. The main change is that enemies can now see you from a much greater distance, but they won't target you instantly. Now they have this cool progress indicator like in most stealth games. It fills up when the robot sees you, and once it's filled up, the enemy will start attacking. I also added a similar thing for losing the target, though it doesn't have a fancy indicator, so you probably won't even notice it. Yeah. Overall, I improved my enemies' AI, so they should be smarter now, probably. But all of that was just the beginning. If you remember in the previous episode, I said that I was going to add some puzzles to the ruin areas, which are the essential part of the main quest. So I actually did that. I wanted a somewhat interesting puzzle, which shouldn't take too long to solve, so the player doesn't get killed by evil spirits if the night comes while he's trying to figure out a solution. I didn't get very original and just did something similar to what I saw in Genshin Impact. If you're an active player of that game, you should remember those cool constellation puzzles in the Monist domain during the last Golden Apple Archipelago event. For those ones who don't have any idea what I'm talking about, here is the essential part. There is a bunch of these beam monuments, which have to be organized in a specific order, representing a certain constellation that can be seen somewhere near the puzzle. I had a lot of fun solving such puzzles, so I decided to do something similar in my game. I started with modeling this simple crystal monument, which will be the main focus point of the puzzle. Then I brought the thing into the engine and started doing some unreal magic. First, I gave the player an ability to rotate these monuments by interacting with them. Each monument has a set of targets, which he cycles through when the player rotates it. Then I gave it this nice little beam particle, cause a beam monument kinda has to have a beam. Now it looks cool, but it isn't really a puzzle until you can solve it, right? So I had to figure out a good way to check if the puzzle is solved. Cause the thing is, these puzzles can have multiple solutions which look exactly the same, so I have to account for that. I decided to implement all of the global puzzle logic into the ruined monument, cause it's kinda the thing that we're trying to activate using these puzzles. Basically, I gave every monument a unique ID, and wrote out the required connections in a specific form like this. Then I just cycled through all of my monuments and write out all their connections, in the direct order and in reverse. And finally, I just check if all the required connections are present, and if true, I call the puzzle solve function, which finishes the sequence and gives the player a reward. But we're still lacking something really important. Oh yeah, how is the player supposed to figure out the solution? Trial and error? Nah, that's not a good play experience. So, I added this simple decal which shows the correct positions for all of the monuments. But the player still has to figure out where the monument is in the scheme and how to rotate it. In the end, we've got this really cool puzzle system, which feels really nice in the actual game. So I say mission accomplished. Alright, looks like this is it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe not to miss something cool, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.